Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hate complaining about anything Italian because I'm Italy's greatest fan. But there are times in a man's life when, all bets are off and one complains about Italian things. So I want to complain about this one. Classic Tarot. I got this secondhand, so I can't return it. I thought it would be fun to have a small Marseille-style pip deck for certain parts of my practice. So I got this, arrived in the post, and I thought, don't like it. Now, why don't I like it? Let me tell you. Here we look on the Lo Scarabeo website and we see two decks come up. We see the Classic Tarot and the Mini Classic Tarot. So far, so innocent. And you could be forgiven for thinking that the Mini Classic Tarot was a mini version of the Classic Tarot. I mean, isn't that how life works? So when we click on Classic Tarot, we get the work of Carlo della Rocca, one of the most important engravers of the 19th century, is re-proposed while proposing the charm and naturalness of this highly refined craftsman. And here we have, Justice and the Knight of Battens looking pretty fabulous. The World looking fab, and the Emperor looking fab, and the backs of the cards. Now, I just bought the Mini. I didn't bother too much about checking it out. But if I had checked out the Mini, I would have clicked here. There's the Mini. And here we see a different selection of cards, so we can't really compare them. We see the Empress looking a bit fat. We see the Charioteer looking a bit fat. And then we see the Moon. I mean, there's no one to look fat in the Moon because there aren't any people. But I started to look through this deck and I thought, why is everyone looking so fat? I mean, she just looks like a pudding. And that's not to say that, heavy people can't be lovely, but what I'm getting to is that this deck has been screwed around with. These are not the images, are they? Look, that is not the Empress image. Lo Scarabeo have done this before. They have the shapes of the cards that they use, and if the images don't suit the aspect ratio of the Lo Scarabeo cards, Lo Scarabeo will just change the images. So these images have been squashed. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean. Let's look at. I'll give you a good picture of the Empress here. That's the Mini Empress. I'll show you a good picture of I'll show you some comparisons. There's Justice. You can have her fat or thin as you feel like it. There's the Knight of Battens, the fat version. There's the Emperor, looking a bit short and stubby. And have a look at the World. You see that? The shape of I think it's called the mandorla, isn't it? But the shape of the wreath is really completely different. This is not a tall, thin tarot card. It's a short, fat tarot card. And the tarot cards are meant to be long and thin. What's interesting is that when Lo Scarabeo released the full-size version, and Lo Scarabeo's full-size tarot cards are a bit thinner than most, even then, the images from this Carlo della Rocca tarot are thinner even than Lo Scarabeo. But in the full-size version, they didn't squash them. They just added these rather awful keywords down the side. Okay. So I can't ask for my money back, can I? Because I only paid a couple of bucks. But I'm not going to use them. I think they're horrible. And I feel like I've been hornswoggled I've been diddled, haven't I? But not really. I mean, it's all my fault. I should have taken one look. I should have done more research, and I should have had a proper look at the images on the website. But it's noticeable that the images on the website, they don't really show you the full damage. So in other words, they haven't exactly cheated on their marketing. The image of the people in the sun card here, that is a squashed image like all the other images, but it doesn't seem to matter so much. Maybe because you don't see the faces so much. You don't see them looking sort of fat around the face. Whereas if you look at the sun card in the full version, which I'll see if I'll just get a screenshot for you. Here's the screenshot. Then you can see that in the real version, in the original, the man is much more leggy, and the woman's dress is not such a sort of a pudding. It's not pudding shaped, it's actually more flowing. And the urns are more elegant, and the whole thing is more elegant. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this is what elegance is, actually. Again, without being fattest about it, elegance is all about tall, slim human forms. That's what elegance has always been, and that's what it is in tarot decks, and that's what it isn't there. So, my apologies to Italian culture in general. Had to say it. I'm Robert Farah, this is Tea and Tara, and I'll be back next week with more of this lovely stuff. Bye-bye.